we will present to you the annual analysis of Sunny Destinations. We're a 3 to 4 star hotel located in the city center close to the waterfront. We aim to attract business, contract, leisure, as well as small and large groups. Our hotel is equipped with 250 guest rooms, 1 restaurant, conference and event space, as well as an exercise room, pool, and a recreational area.
In the beginning of the quarter, we focused mainly on facilities and services. We started with low capital investments in facilities, lobby kiosk, retail shops, travel and tour desk, and valet parking. For services, we aimed at those that bring some revenue to the hotel. The guest room, foreign exchange, and minibar. The concierge and turn-down services were also purchased in order to improve guest satisfaction and quality of service. Towards the end of the quarter, we started doing refurbishments such as contract cleaning, soft goods review, and 1 full renovation for different facilities. We spent a total amount of $362,500.
In January, prices were kept the same in order to see how the market was going to react. Our hope was that the competition would increase their prices so we could implement our cost leadership strategy. By February, we had achieved our goal, but we were very underpriced, so we doubled our rates. For March, we set the winning bid for 1,000 rooms at $80 per person. Because of the increased occupancy, we had no choice but to increase the rates to avoid walk-in guests. Although we started being the price leaders, there were simply too many of our competitors with the same strategy. In the next quarter, we want to focus on groups but branch out to more transients as they provide higher revenues.
First quarter, starting our strategy from scratch, we took the time during the 2 first months to understand how the market was acting and how we could adapt our pickup accordingly. During March, we decided to keep a low occupancy and did not increase our pickup in order to have space available to welcome the group we had gotten by offering the best price. The group was 1,000 room nights, 4 nights a week.
By the beginning of the period, we decided to invest in all marketing tools. We chose groups as main target market, along with transients during the weekdays. We set an initial budget of $23,300 and distributed it between all the advertising channels. After January, we realized our investment wasn't enough and doubled it for the rest of the period.
Starting with a balanced and homogeneous distribution channel strategy, that is 25% per channel, we have decided to progressively increase the GDS and direct channel proportions in order to improve global performance. February led to an increase in ADR, RevPAR, and total net room revenue. As the wholesale channel didn't match with our strategy and target markets, we have progressively replaced its share with direct and GDS channels. Here are displayed the proportions for bar standard for January and March.
In the first quarter, our RevPAR constantly increased, as well as our occupancy rate. The RGI, MPI, ADR, and ARI were fluctuating. However, there was an increase from the beginning of the quarter to the end of the quarter. This is where we were on our price-value map.
In the second quarter, we reduced the amount of investments in facilities and services and increased the investment on refurbishments. For facilities, we purchased the lobby bar, which was quite a big investment, however, a necessary one in order to increase the quality of the hotel. Regarding services, we invested in the music and entertainment to improve guest satisfaction. In refurbishments, we renewed and made new cleaning contracts and some new soft goods review. We spent a total amount of $350,500.
In April, we saw from the price-value map that our rates were reasonable, so we kept them steady. In May, we made a small increase to the package transients price by $10. In June, we dropped our prices on transients on weekends and the transients for packages on the weekdays. We did this to see if we could boost our occupancy. In the second quarter, we were happy with both the price and the occupancy. Although we were doing well, we wanted to see if we could improve in the third quarter.
In this quarter, we started by gradually increasing our pickup in order to attract more clients. In May, we increased it even more in order to get the transients displaced by the group that had been relocated to another hotel. As our occupancy remained close from 60%, we kept the pickup high in June. This allowed us to increase the occupancy by approximately 15% in the overall quarter.
After having received the group, our revenue increased significantly, and we decided to double again most of our investments, bringing our budget up to $55,900, which is 8% of the expenditure. That was also done because social medias were announcing problems to find our hotel. Here, we also realized we were investing wrong in some channels, as we were only paying $100 a month, so we increased it. In May, we changed strategy and focused mainly in transients.
When quarter one came to an end, we were facing a certain lack of visibility, yet our perceived quality and revenue had improved. We had therefore decided to pay more attention to the OTA channel for quarter 2. Slowly moving towards high season, we have decided to implement more aggressive trigger points. As shown, the revenue contribution for our channels has increased from quarter 1 to quarter 2.
In the second quarter, we had a steady increase of RevPAR and occupancy rate. Our ADR was constant and MPI increased. RGI and ARI decreased from the beginning of the quarter to the end of the quarter. Sunny destinations remain in a relatively similar spot on the price-value map compared to the previous quarter.
During the third quarter, we did not make any more investments in facilities since they required high levels of capital or services since we already purchased all necessary services. Regarding refurbishments, we renewed some of our cleaning contracts as well as soft goods redo. We spent a total amount of $117,500.
From June to July, there were no changes in prices. August, we increased our premium prices because they were too close to the transient rates. In September, there were no changes to the prices because we were dominating our segment. So in quarter 3, we're the only ones in our price segment, and our occupancy shows that as well, which we have managed to increase.
In this quarter, we are currently in high season. We have then a demand and an occupancy that keeps increasing. We decide to keep high pickup in order to attract as many bookings as possible from the market. As bar standard and premiums were bringing the most revenue, we focused on these two. We also refused to answer the request for proposal that would have forced us to displace transients and would have led to a decrease in revenue.
In July, we continued to focus on transients. Here we also realized we were spending money unnecessarily and changed our approach. We stopped investing in OTA and wholesale in order to target direct bookings and GDS. During this quarter, we focused on investing in only 2 segments, transients and groups. We stopped investing in discounted as they already have better prices.
Quarter 3 allowed us to test our strategy, and it started well. Our net room revenue gained more than 13% between June and July. However, we haven't made changes regarding channel management in August and September. We didn't get the request for proposal, but planned on benefiting from the displaced transients and keep our prices lower than the competitive set.
In the third quarter, our RevPAR was fluctuating as well as our occupancy rate. ADR increased as well as RGI and ARI. Our MPI suffered a small decrease. Sunny destinations stayed relatively centered on the map like the rest of the concept.
For the fourth quarter, we focused on renewing most of our cleaning contracts as well as soft goods redo. Moreover, we did 2 full renovations in order to be prepared for the next year. We spent $236,500.
In October, our comp set have seen our strategy and have started to encroach in our segment. We decided to go back to our old strategy and become the cost leaders by dropping prices again. In November, we actually failed to become the cost leaders, but our rates had become average, since our comp set had dropped their prices so dramatically. In December, we ended up with a nice average price with high quality. So for our final quarter, we managed to have an overall higher RevPAR and occupancy than the market, and we think this is due to our overall pricing being lower than the average.
We now exited the high season, and the number of requests from the market dropped significantly. However, we took the decision to keep high pickup to get as many bookings as possible, as we never reached the full occupancy. And as a result, we managed to keep our occupancy above 60%.
In the last quarter, as our prices were competitive and we were well positioned according to the market indices, we decreased the marketing expenses back to 6%, which is the ideal.
In order to keep up with our performance, we maintained a direct and GDS-focused channel strategy. We also prepared for the November request for proposal by increasing our weekday discounts as shown here. We ended up not signing the group, which led to a slight global slowdown in December. We globally ended the first year with a very satisfying position overall.
In the last quarter of operations, all our values decreased except for ARI, which remained constant. On the price-value map, Sunny Destinations achieved to locate itself in the middle of the map, since our strategy was cost leadership. As you can see, our RevPAR increased steadily up until August, and from then on, as we exited high season, Sunny Destinations' RevPAR dropped. RGI was constantly fluctuating between the duration of a year, as we can see on the graph, experiencing a high of 1.06 in the first quarter and a low of 1.01 in the second quarter. Occupancy rates steadily increased up until August, with higher rates for high season and lower rates for low season. In the MPI, there were drastic fluctuations, such as in May, where there was a big drop, and in March, where there was the highest index of 1.14. Except for the month of March, our ADR was somehow stable, always varying between 170 and 185. In the graph of ARI, we can see that sunny destinations experienced very extreme fluctuations. We struggled to keep our values above 1, which is something to be improved next year.
The goals for our annual plan were to reach 25% for our gross operating profit and 8% for our return on equity. In reality, we generated in excess of 39% for gross operating profit and 7.9% for return on equity.
Our recommendations for next year are: regarding facilities, the hotel should try to purchase the business center. However, it is essential to ensure the hotel is in a financially stable position when doing so. For services, in case there is a high demand for groups, it would make sense to purchase a transport van. In refurbishments, Sunny Destinations should keep renewing its cleaning contracts and work on soft goods review and full renovations in order to improve quality.
So at the moment, our rates are perfect. But in the future, we need to be able to adjust according to what our comp set is doing.
As for pickup, we should try to keep it as high as possible for next year. However, it will need to be adjusted for the groups.
For next year, we should avoid investing in markets which are in our focus, always remembering to keep expenses lower than 6% of our revenue.
For a successful second year, we should maintain our focus on GDS and direct channels and stick to the strategy we have used.
So from all of us at Sunny Destinations, we'd like to thank you for listening to our presentation. If you'd like to see more, stay tuned for the bloopers.
You ready?
I need you to...
Not you, not you, not you.
More because... No, shit!
Go.
So for the yeah.
and focused in trainings. Okay, I'm good.
All right, let's do this.
Are you feeling Anna?
Ian, don't you want to dance with them?
Did you see that just picked?
Yeah, and you see those...
Okay,
You can go whenever.
why?
Yeah, and you see those bitches dancing the crab thing. Me?
Okay, let's go. Max!
When Q1 fuck me! Fuck me! Fuck me!
In quarter 3, let me say it again. So quarter 3 at the top. I always put quarter 3 at the top, or all the quarters at the top.
You're recording now.
Yeah.
In May we changed strategy and focused in trainings.
Guy?
But it's gotta be like 50 fails before it gets it.
And